Hello, Carl Christiansen from Flowers for Nelson. Today I'm going to be making a wedding bouquet and talking about some of the things that the brides should consider when they're thinking about flowers for their wedding. Today's wedding we're going to have these pink sweet avalanche roses and some pink dendrobium orchids with a few white freesia in the bouquet, and it's going to be a posy bouquet. For the roses, I take all the foliage off the flowers and I'm putting a wire up the stems so that I can actually give me a bit of chance to bend the flowers into position when I'm making the bouquet. Sweet avalanche rose is a soft pink rose and has quite a nice scent to it. A couple of more lavender roses to go in there as well. Will match with the orchids that are going to be used. Okay, so there I have the wires all into the roses, and I'm just going to do a few more orchids here. Pretty coloured Singapore orchids. These are imported into New Zealand, so we're lucky that we can get these to use for our floristry here. And I'm just putting the wire down through the centre of the flower because I don't want all the flowers like on a stem like this. I want them to be individual flowers on top of the bouquet, so I need to put a wire in each one. The roses have got a bit of scent as well as these freesias. Thinking to put some jasmine leaf around the outside of the bouquet, so I just want to prepare that to go in at the end. And I've got some camellia foliage in the bucket here, which I've trimmed down to about the size I need it. So this is the camellia foliage, and I just need the tips of the leaves there, so those stems have been cleaned up. And have a little bit of our native hebe, which has got a bit of the same colour from the flowers. Right, so I think we're set to go. We've got the orchids and the roses. We've got the freesias and the foliage. I'm going to put some hypericum berries from here. I've started to thread some onto a piece of wire, and I thought that would look nice draped over the bouquet. So to make a bit of a posy base with this camellia foliage and some hebe foliage. This is why I put the tape over the wires so that when I'm pushing it through here the wires don't get caught on the stems of the foliage. Okay, but there are different styles that a bride can have in her bridal flowers. But the posy is the most common and most popular. So then when you're happy that all the flowers are in the right place, tie it off so that they all stay in place. Quite tightly binding the stem. Okay, so there we've got the bouquet, so I can hang on to that piece. Now all I do is cut the stems at the bottom. So when I pack the flowers, I pop them into a box of tissue paper, and there's water in a container there so that these flowers can still drink. So the flowers will just sit in there with their faces in water, all ready for the groom to come and pick up for his bride for the wedding day. This is a posy bouquet, which is the most common and popular type of bouquet that the brides are having now. But brides can also choose to have a trailing bouquet where the flowers are sort of like a small bouquet at the top, but the flowers and the foliage trail down. Another type of bouquet that the bride can have is an arm sheaf, where the flowers are all in one flat plane really, held in the arm. or a teardrop, which is has a bouquet top like this, and it has a small trail, only about 10-20 centimetres. And other things that brides need to think about for their wedding day, what their bridesmaids are wearing, and most brides keep the same sort of flowers but with different colours. Flower girls, they will carry maybe a basket of flowers or a basket of petals, or perhaps wear some flowers in their hair. So there's all sorts of different ways that flower girls can be incorporated in the wedding with their flowers. Mothers or grandmothers quite often have a corsage which they wear and pin onto their dress, or they can wear a wrist corsage which will go around the wrist and it's on a band. Fathers and grandfathers, and also the groom and the groomsmen, will generally have a buttonhole, and often that's a single rose with a bit of foliage around it. The groom will generally have one of the flowers from the bride's bouquet, one of the same type of flowers that's in the bride's bouquet, so it sort of matches. And the groomsmen will generally have one of the flowers the same as what's in the bridesmaid's bouquet. Also, flowers for weddings, need to consider what if you want flowers at the ceremony, in the church or wherever your wedding ceremony is going to take place. You might want flowers on the registry table where you sign the register of the wedding. You might want flowers on the church pews, or ribbon on the church pews. Flowers at the entrance to the church, quite often on the bridal table. There's a long, low arrangement. Can have candles in it. Some of the ones I've done have candles in, and they sit in front of the bride and groom, and the flowers will generally trail over the front of the table a bit. And the guest tables may have vase with some flowers in it, or a small arrangement with flowers on each of the guest tables. Cake sometimes has natural flowers on it. There's various flowers and situations in the wedding where you might want flowers that brides need to consider.